everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into this class, which is all about building up trust, building up confidence. Maybe you are feeling insecure. Maybe you have lost your trust in yourself or in somebody else. And we're going to work on that. We're going to use no props, or if you have a blanket, I like to always have a blanket for my practice. You can sit on it. I personally like to roll it up a little bit and bring it under my knees. So we're going to start seated, and this is a little bit nicer for the knees to sit down. So find a comfortable position here, seated, cross-legged, maybe seated on your heels if that feels nicer for you, with your spine erect and your sit bones heavy. Close your eyes, bring your attention inward, and start to notice. Notice what comes up. Notice your breath, your physical body. Notice your thoughts. So one of the main aspects of yoga is niyamas, the 5 niyamas that we're working with, and they are part of the 8 limbs of yoga. Now, the part that is about trusting, surrendering, giving up control is the Ishvara Pranidaha, and that's what we're going to work with today. Literally translated meaning bowing to your inner source, bowing to a higher power that is within you, which is a wonderful concept, and we're going to try and establish that today. So now, as you deepen your breath, come seated with your feet on the floor and your heels down, toes up. We're going to do a few cat-cows, reaching our hands under our knees, inhaling to open the chest and exhaling to round the spine. So you can start a few times lowering the toes as you exhale and inhale to lift the toes. I'm going to do about 3 before I slowly roll back up and open the knees now into Baddha Konasana, butterfly. And this is again another one we can really let go, right? So you're kind of like rolling from side to side. You're opening the hips, the outside of the hips, swinging your upper body gently, but a little bit with the idea of letting go, right? Of losing control. And trusting yourself here, trusting your inner sources as you're moving from side to side. And then after a while, you're going to make these movements a little bit smaller and bow forward. Take a breath or 2 in your Baddha Konasana, really releasing as much as you can before you make your way back up into seated. And then fold your knees together using your hands and stretch your left leg out. Your right knee will come up. Hold on to your right big toe with your left hand, and as you inhale, extend your right arm behind you, lift it, lift the leg, come into a twist with both legs long. Keep both legs active. As you inhale, you lift the chest. As you exhale, you turn your navel towards the right. And then with your next exhale, grab the right foot with both hands and pull the knee back. 1 breath or 2 here before you exhale and you set the foot down again. Now your hands are going to come behind you. Your left foot is going to come a little bit closer. As you inhale, lift the hips forward, and exhale, set them back down. Right, so you're moving on your heels forward, moving on your right foot, and exhale down. So not only stretching your foot, also stretching your quad, opening the chest. Good. And then come back, both legs long, lift your arms, creating space in your upper body. Exhale, cactus the arms, stay as straight as you can. And then bring your elbows to your torso, and as you inhale, open the arms again with your elbows touching. Look up if that feels okay in your neck. And then exhale, round, bring your little fingers together and just soften your palms face up. So coming a little bit from that idea of opening, receiving, letting happen, to letting go, releasing, trusting again. The left knee comes up, the right leg stays long. Hold on to your left big toe with the right hand. And as you inhale, extend everything, right? So extend the left leg, extend the right arm behind you. And then see if you can gain length with the breath in and rotation as you exhale a little bit more. Moving, thinking from your belly button, right? The center of your intuition. Come back to your left foot, pull the knee back, holding on with both hands. 1 or 2 breaths here, opening the inner hip for a moment. Inner hip holding on to a lot of tension, a lot of control that we try to exert every day. Take your hands behind you, bring the right foot a little closer. As you inhale, lift your hips up, drop the right knee down. Good. Couple more times. Lift up and forward. And then one more. Lifting hips, dropping the knee, bring it back. Lower your hips down, stretching both legs out. Dandasana, flex your feet, activate your legs, lift your arms, and then open your arms long this time, so no cactus. Widen the arms, maybe look up a little bit. Space around your heart. As you exhale, lower your hands down. And then just one more time, coming into a reverse plank. One more time to open the front. Be careful with your shoulders, give your shoulders space, and then lower your hips down. From here, we're going to fold one more time. Again, this little balance between receiving and letting go. Soften everything now for a moment before you roll back up. Good. Then cross your shins to make your way into all fours slowly, bringing your knees right under your hips, your hands right under your shoulders. Pull the belly in, then inhale, start sliding left arm forward and right arm forward and left leg back 3 times. The third time you're going to hold this. Lift everything up, so right arm, left leg. Take it out, balancing. Take one breath here, bring it back through center line, and then just lower your right forearm down. Right forearm to the mat. Look to the left. Lift the left leg up. Good, and maybe lift the left arm as well. Right forearm down, left leg lifted. Good, and then from here, bring the left hand behind the lower back. You can always keep the hand on the ground if that's better, if you feel it's hard to balance. Start to look down, turning the head. Trust yourself, you can do this. Bring both hands down, bring the knee down, back to all fours. Maybe doing a cat-cow just to mobilize, to release. Maybe staying at center. Exhaling first before you move on. 3 times, left arm out, right leg out, and in as you exhale. Hold it, lift it up, and then take the arm to the left, the right leg to the right. One breath here before you bring everything back through center. Lower the left elbow, left forearm down. Tuck the right toes under, and then start lifting into your side plank. This is hard work, right? So maybe keep the right fingers on the ground or bring the right hand behind your lower back. The right leg is flexed, so bring some sort of activity into your body so you can really feel safe in this little bit of a wobbly pose, but then also bring trust into this pose. Both hands down, both knees down, back into all fours. If you want, you can do a movement, or you can just stay still here with your breath. Doesn't really matter that much. And then come into a puppy pose, or bring your hands forward. Keep your hips high, so your hips are right over your knees. And then maybe bring your palms together in prayer pose, Anjali Mudra, bringing your hands behind your neck. So you really feel the openness here, and you're safe, right? Your heart is melting towards the ground. You're connecting to the ground, to what's holding you here. Take 3 breaths in puppy pose, maybe longer if it feels really good here, to open the front safely, and then bring your hands forward, step the right foot between your hands for low lunge, and then start lifting your upper body as you pull your navel in. Interlace your hands behind your back, look up, and as you exhale, fold forward with your right shoulder, maybe touching your right knee, maybe not. Lift your knuckles behind you for a breath or 2. And then release your hands to your lower back, and then slowly to the ground in front of you. We're going to start lifting the back knee up, looking forward. As you exhale, straighten the right leg, lift the toes, bow to your inner source, looking towards your navel, again, your center of intuition. Bring your right foot a little bit closer, take your hands onto your hips, lift up into standing, and now bring your right hand behind your back, your left hand onto your belly, and see if you can lift the left leg behind you. Doesn't have to be as high as here. It can be touching the floor. Just lighten that foot, balancing, right? So again, working with that idea of trusting yourself. Drop the foot, lift your arms as you inhale, open, take a big circle with your arms, bring your hands down, step it back into a downward facing dog. And you can take way more time than me. This is just a suggestion, more like a demo, right? Bring your knees down as you exhale. Come back onto all fours, take a cat-cow, or again, stay still, catch your breath. After the next exhale, with the inhale, the left foot steps forward into a low lunge. Walking up, pulling navel in, interlacing fingers behind your back. Maybe shift one finger over as you inhale, sink into your front hip, open the chest, receiving. As you exhale, drop the chest, drop the left shoulder to the knee, drop the head. Lift your knuckles behind you, keep the elbows softly bent, make sure you're not locking your elbows, and then drop the arms after the second or third breath. Bring the fingertips down, lift the back knee up, and then bow forward again, straighten the left leg, lift the left toes, active left leg, recognizing your inner source. About 3 breaths here in your forward fold. Bring the right leg a little bit closer, hands onto your hips to come up. Slight bend in the back leg. Right hand to the front, left hand to the back. Pull your lower belly or push your lower belly with both sides. Start lifting the right leg up, balancing on the left leg. And your hands are kind of busy, right? So pull your elbows back and see if you can trust yourself that you got this, that you can hold the balance, even if it's shaky, right? Shaky is totally fine. Lift your arms as you inhale, step it back. Big circle with your arms, and then bring your fingertips down, downward facing dog again. Again, take the time you need. I know this is a fast flow. Bend your knees, straighten your spine, and then see if you can press your thighs back a little with that long spine. The elbows are slightly bent. You can shake your head yes and no, making sure you completely release before you walk your feet forward to the front of your mat. Bring your hands onto your knees for a moment. Lift your toes, come into a chair, and then wrap your arms around the outer legs and find prayer between your knees. Now lengthen the spine. Set the hips low, and as you exhale, fold forward with your prayer still between your knees. Bowing down to your inner strength, trusting yourself, believing in yourself, and releasing your hands slowly for softness in your forward fold before you roll up with your knees bent, shoulders, head come a blast. And then you come to standing. Feel your feet rooted into the mat. Roll your shoulders back. Long, confident stance, spine spacious. Step your right foot in front of your left. Close your eyes, maybe one eye or both eyes, and bring your hands together in prayer. Just hold here, standing with your eyes closed. Again, I'm showing you here, you can close just one eye. Feel maybe a little bit shaky. That's totally fine. Maybe you feel super solid. That's great too, right? Like, don't judge yourself if you don't feel anything. Just again, notice the ground. Notice your connection to the support. Now step the left foot in front of the right. And as you can see here, I always have my knees slightly bent, so I'm not locking. Eyes can be closed. Maybe one eye can be closed. If both of that is hard, you can just keep your eyes open, and that's already balancing. Maybe keep your eyes closed as you make your way all the way back to the end of the mat now. Find your end of the mat. Take your legs wider. One breath here. Lower your gaze. Lower your hands, and then lift your arms, open the eyes, stretch up. And as you exhale, start rolling down, softening down, starting with your fingers, your wrists, your elbows. Bend your knees, kind of dangling here like a plant in the water. And then bring your hands down and walk your fingers forward. Find a soft downward facing dog. When you're ready, you can drop your knees down to the mat. Tuck your toes under. Come to seated on your heels for a moment, opening the backs of the feet. And then lift into kneeling. Lift your arms up. Right hand behind the back. Left arm draws 3 big circles. Turning the wrists, turning the palm as you circle here. And after the third circle, you're going to lift the left fingertips and then side bend over to the right, slowly dropping, collapsing the left shoulder through center and lifting back up. Inhale. Exhale, just drop the left arm heavy. Good. Practicing letting go physically. Right arm draws big circles, left arm behind the back. A little bit of stability between the left forearm and the lower back as you draw 3 big circles total here. Lift the right fingertips high, lengthen the right side. Exhale, side bend over, look over to the left. Drop the shoulder down, collapse before you lift the right arm back up, lengthen, and then exhale, drop the arm heavy. Nice. Good. And then cross your arms in front of your belly and fold forward from here. Bring the crown of your head to the mat and just roll onto the crown of your head gently. Don't do this if you have regular migraines. This is a gentle variation of headstand, and there's not too much pressure, but it can be too much. If you have very unmedicated high blood pressure, don't do it either. Come into a child's pose for a moment. Let your shoulders move away from each other, forehead down, getting really small and feeling very safe here in this shape as you breathe into your back body. So you're still providing a little bit of space, a little bit of volume for yourself in the back of your heart, but you're feeling very protected. You can stay longer, you can press yourself up from here and then swing your legs forward, coming back into a seated posture for a moment. Now, I'm going to place my blanket, if you have a blanket, a towel also works, behind my mat, so not on the mat, but behind the mat here, holding onto my knees, and then opening the knees to find my big toes. Scooting forward so I can start lifting the feet up. We're balancing again, establishing trust. Maybe widening the feet for a seated happy baby. Draw your arms back into your shoulders before you lift the right foot. Bring it down and then the left. And this might be too much. You can bring one foot down on the floor if you need. Maybe if you're feeling safe and you're feeling playful, open your legs all the way and then kind of let yourself fall down a little bit, right? Again, this is the idea. You can't really hurt yourself here. Just trust that things are going to be fine. Pull your toes now behind you in a variation of shoulder stand before you bring your knees together. Tiny shape with your palms on top of your shins. Press your shins. And now we're going to work all the muscles with the inhale and hold the breath for a little bit. Flexing the feet. Face very strong, very powerful. Pull the pelvic floor muscles in. Exhale, release. Take space on your mat. Maybe scoot the blanket under your head and feel the ground underneath you. So your toes are falling out to both sides. You can place your hand onto your belly if you feel a little bit anxious or stressed today. Or if you feel a little bit more spacious and a little bit more strong and confident, take space, right? So power pose as you're lying in your Shavasana, but without any tension. So you're letting go of any tension. You even let go of breath control here. So now we're moving back into a passive state, like we started off with. From a little bit of control, from a little bit of activity, moving back to the opposite, transitioning into trusting, tuning back into ourselves, watching ourselves, noticing what's going on, watching breath and body, and eventually noticing your thoughts now. What's coming up as you lie here? Take a moment to soften your heart space in your belly. Sending awareness and sending softness with your thoughts. Notice all these areas in your body that are being held by the ground underneath you again, establishing trust. And let all these heavy areas become even heavier gradually, as if you're growing roots into the ground. Stay here as long as you like. And before you come up, just roll onto one side slowly and then make your way into seated here. Bring your hands together in prayer in front of your heart. Anjali Mudra, the mudra of recognizing the higher power. See if you can soften your face, your shoulders, your hips consciously. Notice the space you just created within you. the awareness, the confidence, and then bow to yourself and your strength and your power. Namaste. Thank you so much for your practice. I hope to see you next time. Have a beautiful day, night, weekend. See you soon.